What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basement Monsters podcast. We're back, baby. Season 2, live from Sports Zone Chicago. I got my man Luke Nettles with me as usual. What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. The NFL is finally here. I thought that would never come.
Yeah, it was iffy there for a while. Everyone was kind of, but I think, with the basketball and the hockey and them kind of doing their thing. I mean, obviously the bubble thing is different, but I think the testing and stuff like that, I think helped, with the NFL kind of seeing how they were going to do a mass testing, try to keep everybody safe as possible. And so far it's worked out. Out of every NFL player tested, not one positive. So that's a plus.
Yeah, not one positive, and that is a plus because we just want to, we want to watch football, but it's about the players' safety. These players, they got to go back home to their families. They're around other people. You got to at least be courteous enough to think about others. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad the NFL, for everything that we could see, has been doing the right thing. Yeah. Other than COVID-19, though, some of the big headlines, dude, your boys, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, or should I say the Tampa Bay Patriots? Right. Which is it? Is it the Bucs or is it the Patriots? You tell me.
I hope it's the Bucs. It's a big acquisition. Spend a draft pick on Tristan Wirfs. Take care of Tom Brady. We're gonna see. We're gonna see that line needs to. They need to be there. They need to show up. They need to be there because we all know what happens once Tom starts taking hits. It's not pretty.
Right. Once Tom starts taking hits, it could get really ugly. But he has playmakers around him for the first time in maybe ever. Yeah. He has a plethora of playmakers that are just. I mean, this offense was top 10 in the league last year.
Yeah, I mean, Jameis Winston, everybody knows the 30 for 30.
30-30
but he still led the league in passing. So,
right.
The offense seems to be working or at least moving. Obviously they're going to have to tweak it a little bit to cater to what Tom likes to do.
Right.
And then you got Gronk as well. But the one thing that I will give Brady that no other Tampa Bay quarterbacks had is they now have LaShawn McCoy and Leonard Fournette along with Ronald Jones.
Correct. They have a running game.
So that's going to help out tremendously.
Exactly. They have a running game. I guess you could say they have a running game with I wouldn't say a household name, but a well-known name around the league. And I'm just speaking for Tom Brady. Finally, Tom Brady has a running back. I mean, who was the last big running back that he had? Corey Dillon?
LeGarrette Blount?
Corey Dillon? LeGarrette Blount, maybe. But LeGarrette Blount
they had like 10?
Yeah, they had like 10 running backs. So, it's just good to see Tom. Actually, it's weird. It's actually weird, but I guess it's good for them to see Tom in a position where he doesn't have to do everything.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I think I think that's going to be crucial because at his age, he needs to limit the wear and tear and the arm and taking the hits and all that stuff like that. So having that, hopefully, we're going to see. I mean, this is really just an experiment right now. It looks great on paper, but we've seen teams look great on paper before.
Right, and that the signing of Leonard Fournette is going to help greatly because we didn't know we were looking at McCoy, Ronald Jones. We're just like, and they ended up drafting a running back. I forgot who they drafted.
I can't remember that kid
in the later rounds. But just seeing him with this plethora of talent, it kind of worries you because you're like, okay, he has all this stuff. Yeah, he has all this stuff. Is it too good to be true?
Right.
Like, are these guys going to come and fall out flat on their face?
They could. I mean, it's what other offenses Tom Brady ever ran? Like, there's a question there. I mean, of course they're going to have little plays that, I'm sure they're going to have, things that he's comfortable with, that they're going to look similar to what they did in New England. Is Gronk going to be able to take hits? That's another thing, Rob
Gronkowski, also with signing Tom Brady, Tom got his boy back. The Bash brothers are back. You know what I'm saying? Right. The party boys are back. Tom and Rob Gronkowski, It's crazy to see. It's crazy to think that after 2 years, Gronk he looks better.
Yeah,
he looks healthier.
Arians has said that he looks like he's the Gronk of like the second or third year he played. So we'll see. I mean, maybe that time. I mean, how much did they play that guy? Like, wow, he was just banged up. Like, you know what I mean? Like he took some punishment.
Yeah, and it was sad because you saw Rob. he had some moments where I think he was promoting a product and he started weeping.
Right.
He was really emotional
Right.
about the toll that the game was taking on his body and his love for the game. And it's just good to see that he's in a good place now.
Yeah.
And he's able to produce. I mean, it's crappy that he's for your team, but I'm sure you're happy.
Speaking of tight ends, I mean, you guys got a pretty decent one. We're going to find out about too.
Yeah, we're going to find out about 2 tight ends the Bears got. We're going to find out about
one of them. We kind of already know a little bit about.
One of them we kind of know, but the others it's questionable because you got a guy like a Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham hasn't missed that many games in his career, and he went to a team like the Packers where he really wasn't utilized properly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham is not
a mess up there.
Yeah, he's not injury prone by any means. He's constantly out on the field week after week for the majority of his career. You got a guy like that. The guy caught. I think he had 700 yards last year, something to that effect. That was better than any tight end the Bears had. If you guys want to question that, the Bears' leading tight end had 91 yards, and that was J.P. Holtz. 91 yards throughout the entire year.
That's
trash.
Yeah.
It's trash. You can't have that. Like you said, you go to Cole Kmet in the draft, they got a good tight end, Cole Kmet, and they're meshing. For all I hear coming out of training camp is that Cole Kmet and Jimmy Graham are meshing together. Cole Kmet is red zone presence. He's making plays. He's looking like he's learning from a vet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Speaking of that draft is big for a lot of teams. The Colts. Yeah. The Colts, the Cowboys. You had a lot of teams.
Denver.
You had a lot of teams that were, in a position where you're like, what are they going to do? And all of a sudden they just hit it big.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who do you think, in your opinion, who had the best draft?
All the way around?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's hard to fault the Cowboys with what they did with getting CeeDee Lamb and a few of those other guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now you got on a typical day you could have Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, and you still got Amari Cooper over there. The only one that I think Dallas is missing right there is they have Blake Jarwin. Is he a Witten? No, but he's still going to catch some balls,
Yeah.
But I think Dallas had a pretty good one, and I'll tell you the one that I think it wasn't the best all over draft, but I don't. It's just surprising that a team that good got the player that they did,
mm-hmm.
and we just saw that on Thursday night.
Right.
That running back that Kansas City got
mm-hmm.
is looking like he's the real deal. And
Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Yeah, Helaire, yeah.
Helaire?
So if they can, we all know what they can do in the pass attack. If they can complement that with a stellar running attack, they're going back to the Super Bowl.
I don't know if I trust a guy named Clyde, though. I don't know if I can trust a man named Clyde, but he tore it up.
I mean, he looked good.
Yeah, my team, honestly, it's the Indianapolis Colts. You get a guy like a Jonathan Taylor, and you go ahead and you get a guy like a Michael Pittman, and
mm-hmm.
we're talking about these are first round talents. I mean, you just changed your offense dramatically.
Phillip Rivers
and then you add a veteran quarterback like Phillip Rivers, who finally has some more talent than he probably had in Indianapolis. Maybe it's similar because you had a lot of talent coming through, but you never really had. I mean, you had Gates forever, Keenan Allen.
Yeah, Keenan Allen. Yeah, I mean,
but here in Indy, you're giving them a fresh young machine. A well-oiled machine,
right?
And with a veteran quarterback like that, I think a Phillip Rivers could dominate that AFC South.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, we all know where the Jags are going in the opposite direction.
I don't know where the hell they're
going. The only one they really, the big competition is obviously the Tennessee Titans. They add Jadeveon Clowney, which can be a little scary especially for a quarterback like Phillip Rivers, who's not very mobile.
Right.
So if he gets loose, I mean, it's just somebody needs to say watch out or something because Rivers isn't scrambling from Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon's way too fast.
No, I mean that's yes. If you need a comparison for Rivers' speed, think Peyton Manning.
Yeah, right.
Think Peyton Manning out there, long leg, just slow as molasses. Yeah, just get down.
Just get down.
It's trouble. It's just weird because the Bears had a decent draft. I would like to be like, oh man, the Bears got a dark horse draft, but it's it's still yet to be seen. You know, I have disappointment in Ryan Pace, like throughout, just because of the lack of truth. Just the lack of truth, you know. Quarterback every year, best player available. That has yet to be seen. That has yet to be seen in the first round. I'll say that. It's yet to be seen in the first round. And some of this, you know, so it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. You when you have first round pick after first round pick and then you blow it. You know what I'm saying? You trade up to get a guy like Mitch, and you're watching around the league. Patrick Mahomes, the $5 million, $500 million man.
And then Deshaun
just got. The thing about Deshaun is, I would say that contract, and he got a 4-year contract, but as bad as it's trash, I would say the Texans are garbage. The Texans are not good. No. They are not a good football team. They just got a superstar quarterback, and they're going to run Deshaun into the ground if they don't get rid of Bill O'Brien or Deshaun doesn't leave. And I can see Deshaun within 2 to 3 years chucking deuces.
Yeah, well, I mean, you also got to think, like, you know, you got J.J. Watt. He's not getting any younger. You know, he's had some pretty big injury surgery.
J.J. looks frustrated.
Yeah, he has
frustrated.
He has to be.
He's like, it's sad watching a guy of J.J. Watt's talent just dwindle, just fall to the wayside because your team is a bunch of underachieving is an underachieving group, and your head coach is a maroon. Right. You know what I mean? Well, who trades DeAndre Hopkins? Who does that?
But they got Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks. But I mean, another underachieving.
That's another on paper thing, because Will Fuller, speed. Brandon Cooks, speed. Kenny Stills is pretty quick, but he's just not on the field enough. And then you throw in Randall Cobb, which is probably going to be your slot guy, short route guy. Randall Cobb is not the Randall Cobb of old. But, you know, like I said, on paper, that's another team that you look at and you can say, wow, this is a pretty fast receiving core.
Right.
But it just doesn't work. You know, and the Chiefs aren't one of the – I wouldn't put the Chiefs up as a spectacular defense, but what they were able to do to Deshaun was just ugly.
You know, they put pressure on.
Yeah.
They just put pressure on. The offensive line – I tell you, the offensive line of the Texans is not there, bro. The Texans are in shambles, and they're covered. They got like this mass covering how bad they really are. We got a couple texts. Armando Lara Jr. What's up, Armando? He calls in our text in on Sean and Maya in the morning. Okay. He's a good friend of Sean's. And Bobby Allen says Dallas is going to the ship, which honestly, we had a couple. Me and Luke, we've been talking all off season, and we have not stopped. Like we just, just picking each other's brains, talking football, just trying to figure out what we're going to do with the show. How we're going to go about things. And we wrote down these picks. Some of them were a couple of homers, and then honestly, we just made, pretty straightforward picks. Yeah. And I remember one of mine was Colts Cowboys.
Yeah. It could. I mean, it's the Colts. That their toughest is, they're going to have to overcome some stuff. Mm-hmm. Like that said, if they could beat Tennessee, if they beat Tennessee twice, look out.
Oh yeah. Well, you still got to think. I mean, it's in divisional games. Everybody kind of knows everybody. So those games tend to be a lot closer than you would think, even if one team is significantly worse than the other. But
I mean, the Cowboys. I mean, like I said, that's another another paper team. Exactly, we don't know what CeeDee Lamb's going to. We don't know how often they're going to go to him. We know what he can do. Gallup's good, and Amari Cooper, if he could get on this healthy trend, right. Like that's 3 potent receivers. My thing with Dallas is you lost a couple guys on defense. Are they going to be able to recover?
You know what? I don't know if they're going to be able to recover as quickly. I think they'll be able to hold their own, but I think you'll start to see Dallas progress to trend upward towards the middle of the season. You'll see the defense progress. You'll see the defense grow. I mean, because
with no preseason,
no real training camp. It's hard to go ahead and out there and judge a team.
I mean, that's why I didn't get in any fantasy leagues this year for money.
Right.
Just because with no preseason, like you're going to see busted coverages. You're going to see wrong routes ran. You're going to see the mistakes. You're also going to see guys that may not be in as good a shape as they normally would be with having the preseason.
Absolutely. And I think the thing with that is you got to have smart players. If you have smart players, the players would have done their due diligence. The players would when they go out to game day, they would be more focused and more inclined to succeed because they had that discipline. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Right. If you were out there not focused on your craft, I could see a lot more mistakes, being made. But if you were there and you were doing your job, I don't see why you would have that much of a problem. Maybe because of the conditioning and the ins and outs and stuff like that. But I wouldn't see mentally why you would have that much of a problem.
Well, I mean, mentally, yeah, probably not. Especially for the vets. The vets know what they're in for. It's more the rookies. There's not a lot of guys going to like these workout institutes and stuff like that with the COVID thing going on, because a lot of the gyms and all that stuff are closed. So, how much could you do on your own? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm sure you could have some like teleconference things, work out with some guys, via the internet.
Right.
But it's not the same. And I think when they're going to those institutes, it's actually they're getting into a routine where they're having to be somewhere and they're doing something.
Just the constant in and out with people, just the getting used to who the person is
being with
without football, even without football, just getting to use. There's a comfortability level that it becomes.
Yep.
And it's good to see. I just saw right now we're gonna have a treat. We're gonna be watching. Well, we'll be covering the first game will be the Bears game, and then we got a treat because America's Game of the Week on Fox will be Bucs Saints, and I know you're pumped for that. So we'll be here for 2 games. Like I said, what we do is, and we don't really break it down, is we'll come to you with a pregame, shoot the shit, drink a couple beers, watch a little pregame, see some of the matchups, and go ahead and talk about it with you. But the other thing we do is we come back to you at halftime. We stop when the game comes on, come back and give our halftime report. We'll give you the post-game report, and then we're going into the middle games too. We're here all day. This is what we do. This is what we love. So we're here all day. We're talking crap. We're watching football. We're loving life right now. A big thing that you were talking about is second-year players.
Yeah.
Second-year players that you think are ready to make the jump, and I think there's one guy in particular, and I'm gonna be a homer on this one, but I'm gonna let you go first. Who do you think is the biggest second year player that's ready poised for a breakout?
This is probably come as a little bit of a shock, but I think it's going to be the tight end in Denver, Noah Fant.
Noah Fant?
I think Noah Fant's going to step up. My second one might be Marquise Brown because he has added weight.
Yeah,
and he's already fast, and now it's the second year. He's had that first round. He's gone through it. He knows what to expect.
Right.
Those are probably my 2. I mean, there are probably a couple others I could probably name, but if I had to go with 2, I'm going to say Marquise Brown and Noah Fant.
I like that Noah Fant pick because you got a guy like Drew Lock who's young. He's going to need help over the middle. He's going to need an outlet. Mm-hmm. And if you got a good tight end, that's perfect.
But he also added Jerry Jeudy.
But you added Jerry Jeudy, and now you add a safety blanket and speed.
Right.
So and then on top of that, you got a Courtland Sutton on the other side. Courtland Sutton, a big body receiver on the other side. You still have Philip Lindsay.
Yep. And now you got Melvin Gordon too.
And now you have a Melvin Gordon. And I think Melvin Gordon is going to come rejuvenated. There'll be a mix, but it's going to be a good mix in Denver.
It should
Melvin Gordon mix with a Philip Lindsay. That sounds like it could be a devastating duo. And Denver looks like it's to me on paper, it's looking like it's creeping back into the picture.
Yeah, it could be. Everybody. I don't know that AFC division right there with Denver and San Diego, Kansas City, or Las Vegas. That's a iffy one. We all know the Chiefs are probably going to take it, but I'm going to guess that the Chargers are probably going to take a step back. Mm-hmm. Denver and Oakland or Las Vegas is going to be the tipping. We see all the moves, and we know John Gruden, how crazy his offense is and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. New home, new place, new everything. Is he going to be right? Is going to live up to it?
Before I get my picks, I'll say one quick thing about the Las Vegas Raiders. Watch out in the AFC West. Yeah. Just watch out because it has all the makings of a team that's going to be flying under the radar, and then boom, come and punch you in the mouth. Josh Jacobs is no joke. We've seen him. The Bears played him last year. We've seen him last year, and they added a plethora of receivers in the draft. I think they drafted like 8 receivers.
That's another one. That's a rookie that I got my eye on too. Is Ruggs.
Right, Henry Ruggs. But let me get to my second picks. I'm going to go with the home team first. Anthony Miller.
Yeah.
Anthony Miller. I know he's not a second-year player. I think he's about a third-year player, but he needs a breakout.
Yeah.
You're pretty much a second-year player when you're out a significant amount of time with shoulder injuries.
For sure.
But I just need him to break out. And the other guy I'm really leaning towards, Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray. You get a DeAndre Hopkins. You get you're in your second year with an offense that looked like it was going in the right direction.
Right. Well, it should.
I think Kyler Murray, fits the bill for a guy who's going to break out and be, the trend.
I think the biggest thing with him is that you give him a DeAndre Hopkins,
correct.
So you just basically pretty much giving him almost like a safety blanket,
right?
That way he knows he has a receiver that's going to work for him. It's going to work back to him. He's going to be able to break off of a route when he needs to. With Kyler being so mobile, you may have to be breaking routes every other down. But then the other thing I like that they did over there, and you saw little flashes of it last year towards the end of the season, was them getting Kenyon Drake going. And I think Kenyon Drake's going to work out good in that offense.
Kenyon Drake, he was underrated in Miami. I thought he was going to break out, and I can't believe they just kind of just let him walk.
Yeah, well, they picked up Breida and
Breida
and the guy from Philly, Howard.
Yeah, they do have Jordan Howard now. They do have, that might be a nice little punch. But the Dolphins are still the Dolphins. I don't know if the Dolphins.
You got Tua.
Yeah, you got Tua, but I don't think you're going to make a significant leap this year.
Oh no, they're years.
Yeah, they're years away. Even with Tua, and let's say he progresses and he's healthy, who the hell are you going to put around him?
Yeah, you got Parker. You don't really have much.
Like a Matt Breida and a Jordan Howard, those legs aren't going to.
You don't have much of a receiver.
Those legs, they got some wear on them.
Yeah.
You need a running game, and you don't have any type of a receiving core that I don't even. Who's their receiver? Who's their number one?
Probably Parker.
And
then the guy's fast is everything, but he's not the greatest receiver in the world, and he probably needs to learn a little bit more. But I'll tell you what, if he ever learns to run routes right, and he can catch the balls and they can hit him deep. That Jakeem Grant, man, there's not too many people are going to catch that guy.
Flies.
He's fast.
It's crazy, man. This year was just it's poised to be a fun one, and I just lost my list. It's poised to be a fun one. I hope it lives up to the hype.
Yeah.
I hope it lives up to the hype, and I think with everything that's been going on, this is kind of like a mental getaway for at least a couple hours on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think
get back to normal a little bit.
I think we all need some type of normalcy, back in our lives. One more guy, a second-year guy, Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones from the New York Giants. He wasn't bad when we saw him. I said he wasn't as bad as I thought he was going to be. I thought the pick was stupid initially, and then I'm like, Daniel Jones doesn't look like he's, like the game's just, too big for him. He looks like he's progressing well. Joe Judge as a New York Giants, new head coach. I don't know what we're going to see. It's pretty much
5 new ones this year, isn't it?
Yeah. Five new coaches on the Giants staff, right? And NFL
total. Yeah.
But you actually, I think the Giants picked up Jason Garrett.
Oh yeah,
and I think they picked up Jason Garrett and Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jason Garrett and Freddie Kitchens are New York Giants, but it'll be fun to see who's going to be the guy this year. Who's going to be the rookie? Who's going to be the rookie? Who's going to be?
I think another guy that he's not a rookie. He might be a second or third year player, but I think what everybody's kind of lost track of is with Hooper signing the big deal in Cleveland.
Yeah. That
left Atlanta without a tight end, but they went and got Hayden Hurst from Baltimore. And so Matt Ryan with that Hayden Hurst, we're going to see what Hayden Hurst is really made of because, Mark Andrews was kind of in his way in Baltimore.
Right.
He had to get past him. And Hurst, when Andrews went down a couple times, showed out.
He did.
So with having a Matt Ryan and a more, you still got Gurley over there now. Everybody's saying that the Smith running back guy for Atlanta is looking really good. And then you got Ridley and Jones out there. This Hurst might find a spot. He might be the next hot tight end this year.
Well,
he might be the Darren Waller of last year this year.
Oh, Darren Waller was my guy.
I know. I told you to pick
Darren Waller helped me win a fantasy football championship. So I always got love for Darren Waller. But and it's you're right. Atlanta still has firepower.
Yeah.
They still have firepower.
And their defense is fresh. They get back Keon O'Neal and
the defense is
the
fresh, but
linebacker.
the defense wasn't much to.
But two of their best players weren't even playing last year.
That's true. But you get rid of a Vic Beasley. The Atlanta Falcons, they're one of their still.
Yeah.
They could be either way. They're a dark horse team.
Yeah.
But I believe you with Hurst.
Yeah, Hayden Hurst could be a breakout.
With that offense, he could have a huge breakout year. All right, man. It's a good first round.
Yeah.
Good first round. We're gonna get to
back.
Yeah, it's great to be back. We're gonna get back to you guys at around halftime of the Bears Lions game. Be around maybe. I don't know, an hour or so. Whatever. You'll see us. I'll post another one up there. We're going to get out of here. We'll see you guys at halftime. For Luke Nettles, I'm Ivan Vargas for the Basement Monsters podcast on Sports Zone Chicago.
Thank you.